Hello, welcome to Shad Life. Well, it is nearing the end of 2024. Actually, it is the end of 2024. This is the last day of 2024. Tomorrow is New Year's 2025. And I just wanted to do some updates for you. First one, a little disappointing. You might see that I have the Canyon Spectra 125 in the background. Um, I decided I was going to switch out all the suspension bearings. You can see that it's completely taken apart. You can see the other stuff on the floor over there and so on. But I'm able to do the work, but it's so hacky and difficult that trying to make a YouTube video of it is like near impossible. And then, of course, I don't want to put me doing hacky work trying to get the bearings out and then back in out on YouTube, uh, suggesting that people do the things that I'm doing. I mean, I've had to get these little center punch things to punch old bearings out, and the Park uh, bearing kit thing works for some stuff, but it doesn't work for all of the things, and it's just, yeah, it's been kind of frustrating actually. Um, And then, of course, while I was at it, I kind of dinged chipped the paint a little bit, which is very hacky. So, as much as I love to dive into things, and these are the two things I'm always a little worried to dive into. This was one of them, changing the bearings out on the frame, the suspension bearings, right? Um, but I will get this done and get it all back together. That's not going to be an issue. I'm, you know, almost halfway through getting all the bearings replaced, and then I just have to reassemble everything and so on. That part I'm fine with, and I'm able to clean everything. I will do a video uh, talking about that plastic piece in the back, because that's really one of the big reasons why I want to take all this apart. And that's this part here, and people have been asking about it. So there's a plastic insert piece that the cables come through. So I will do a video on that, just because I feel like that's important to kind of show that. Um, but I'm decided I'm not going to do the bearing replacement video, because I just have failed to try to make it YouTubeable, if that makes any sense. So if you're wondering why those aren't out there, that's why. So, all right. With that being said, let's go on to the next topic. Okay, so another update that I have for you is that I was going through Jensen USA. Um, I sometimes I just shop around sometimes, and out of curiosity or whatever, but there's so many good deals right now, and I've kind of been intrigued by the new V5 Ibis Ripley, but they're expensive. They're $3,500. That's more than I paid for the whole bike, the whole Canyon with all XT level components, Fox Performance Elite fork, Fox Float X rear shock, all that stuff, right? So quite quite a lot of money. So I was kind of like, okay, well, I don't want to do that. And then I was scrolling around and I saw a Norco, and it's like $1,500 for a Norco Fluid C frame. So C being carbon. And what's interesting with the Norco is it's carbon front end, but aluminum rear triangle. And I kind of like that, because it's the rear triangle is what gets beat up more than anything, especially by rocks and things like that, or by somebody being a hack. But it's it was such a good deal that I just purchased it. Like, I'm just like, wow, at that price. It comes with a RockShox. I don't know the RockShox level suspension, especially rear, but it's one of the nicer ones. Rear shock, it does have the little piggyback thing, very similar to the Fox. Looks very similar to that. It's actually the same dimensions or whatever, the same stroke and fit. So I could actually switch this over to it if I wanted to. and I could swap out shocks and see the differences and stuff like that. So that might be kind of cool. But one of the things I like to do is a lot of experimentation. So I'm like, I'm gonna get that Norco frame. It's got a different type of suspension than this bike. It's got you know, a little bit shorter reach. It's got a little bit shorter rear end. And if you know me and all the talk that I've been doing, I like the shorter reach for my height of 5'7". It's got shorter chain stays. The geometry, it has a little bit steeper head angle and things like that. And with the shorter chain stays, I could configure it as a mullet, where this bike would really throw the geometry off too much if I configured it as a mullet. That bike, it will actually be pretty sweet as a mullet, I believe. I'll try it. So that's a 27.5 rear wheel, 29 front. And so I'll have more experimentation things. So I'm super stoked I got that frame coming. I am gonna rebuild this whole bike, but at any time I can just take all the parts off of this and build that one. I'm not gonna have two full suspension bikes that are nearly identical. I'm gonna do one or the other, and I might end up liking that Norco more than I like the Canyon. And if I do, maybe I'll sell this or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see where that goes. But I'm kind of stoked. And I'm working on another purchase. So this is the next update. This one might shock some people, but I'm really trying to get a Santa Cruz Vala. That's their new e-bike. The entry-level model is like $7,500. That's the R kit, I believe. But I'm trying to work out a deal where I might actually get the nicer level one, but the shop that I'm working with might swap out some of the parts or take some of the parts and sell me just the frame and the things that I want off that kit cheaper, and then I can do my own kind of custom build of a Santa Cruz Vala, because I look at the parts on there and there's a lot of things I would just switch out anyway. So I really just want, I wish they had the frame and the motor and all that available, but they only sell complete bikes right now. So I might work out a deal with the shop. I don't know what's going to come because they're kind of hard to get. And so I think the first run or first batch has all been taken up, and now there's a second shipment coming out. All that stuff, right? When stuff comes from overseas, which Santa Cruz stuff does. So we'll see. But once I get that, it's going to be a lot of money. Probably the most money I've put into a bike, right? But it's going to be an e-bike, and we'll talk a little bit about why do I want an e-bike. It has a little bit to do with what happened the last time I was down in Bentonville with my friends, and we rode some e-bikes, and we were able to just cover so much ground and stuff. I will not switch purely over to e-bikes. I love my regular bikes, and I will keep riding them, especially locally here. I don't like, it doesn't make sense to me to go ride Theo with an e-bike. I mean, yes, I will ride the Vala there for my YouTube channel and to talk about it, but as a regular, like, I'm going to go ride Theo, I'm going to ride a regular bike. Sometimes I'll probably even ride my Surly low side single speed. Like, I'm always going to want that. But I have found some kind of cool purposes for e-bikes, and it's like when I travel and go to a place like Bentonville, or if I go to Fruta again, or if I go to our local place called Localized, where you do the downhill runs and then you got to climb your way back up and then do the downhill runs. And so I kind of have seen the purpose of an e-bike for those things. And my friend Jason has an e-bike, and he rarely rides it, but when he does ride it, he rides it like if he's had a long day at work and he's tired, or he's ridden the day before or something and he wants to go out and ride, but he doesn't want to, overwork himself. He'll ride his e-bike with us as a group, and it's kind of fun. Like, it kind of gives you that extra option. So I will talk more about that if and when I get that. Everything's kind of sketchy right now, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, and sometime here in January or early February, I'll find out. So let's talk about my upcoming plans in 2025 a little bit. It's my next update. So as of right now, I have plans to go down to Bentonville Bike Fest again. That will be at the end of May. I don't remember the exact dates, but it's the end of May. But I'm going to be doing some back-to-back trips here. The second trip I'm going to be doing is going to be super cool. It's going to be Dirty Fest. I'm going to go all the way to Temecula, California, road trip with some friends of mine, and we're going to do Dirty Fest. I'm really stoked about that one. If you don't know what Dirty Fest is, I'm going to put a link down in the description to the site, but it is like a kind of a retro BMX festival thing with a bunch of cool events and bike shows and things like that. And I will actually be bringing the Torker to Dirty Fest. So that will be super cool. And then my friend John, he's got, if you've seen my video from this last summer where he rode these retro Schwinn's for like pre-1975 bikes, we'll have a couple of those there at Dirty Fest. And we are thinking about bringing he has a side hack BMX bike. If you don't know what that is, it's a sidecar kind of thing where you have another rider, and they actually have side hack races at Dirty Fest. So pretty stoked about it. So my friend John, myself, and my friend Steve are going, and we might have a third friend that comes. We're not sure yet, but we're gonna just make a big road trip out of it. So that's gonna be fun. So those are my two for sure events that I'm doing this upcoming spring and summer, and I'm super excited about it. And then I'll probably try to do my usual like gravel events, and then of course my usual content on my channel of doing some BMX stuff, some mountain bike stuff, and whatever, right? And if I get that Santa Cruz, I will do some videos on that, and hopefully everybody keeps telling me I need to go to Localize, so that Santa Cruz would be great for Localize, right? So there you have it. Those are my updates. Kind of bummed about not kind of following through with doing the videos on my Canyon, but I do see the analytics, and there's not a lot of people that are watching those videos, the first few I did on this project. So it's kind of like, people aren't that interested in that content. And I think for 2025, I'm going to really look at those analytics and only do videos that I think that people are more into. I will still do other videos that, whenever I get feedback from people, even if I'm only catering to a small slice of people, if it's really beneficial to them that I'm doing some of these videos, I'll continue doing those, even if they don't get big, massive, exciting attention out there on the internet, right? This is my channel. I like to do the things I like to do, right? And it's kind of like this. I'm frustrated with it. I don't like how I've tried to film it. I don't like the hacky thing, so I'm gonna make the decision to just do it off camera, get it done, and be okay with the fact that I didn't get to do the full series of videos that I wanted to do. It's okay. I did do the Torker build. That was super cool, right? So, yeah, it is what it is. Appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace.